Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Brooklyn here. I'm here solo by myself because I'm going to just address something before I start the show tonight. Last week, we were talking about basically how we get kind of like blamed behind the scenes for everything. Sorry, I gotta mute my show here. I'm hearing myself twice. But last week we were talking about how we kind of always get the blame for everything that goes on in the home arcade community. And I was just trying to explain to everybody that actually that's very far from the truth. We are not causing any troubles behind the scenes. During the show, Brad was obviously he's been or was a bit heated with Cornicade with the whole at Games is building the Death Star. And he addressed it on the show to Cornicade. First, he asked him a bit aggressively, "You better stop, or I'm going to strike your channel." I explained that you can't do that, right? Because people have the right to clip a certain amount of anybody's show and play it. But what we were trying to explain to Cornicade was, even though you see it as something innocent, the people that are doing it, it's not innocent to them. It's a personal attack. And so after last week's show, I noticed that Cornicade had clipped that discussion in the show. Right? He probably is not aware that I get alerted for stuff like that. So he clipped the show. That's fine. But I was like, okay, that's cool. He clipped the show. Because like I said, anything I do on here is like you can literally replay my whole show on your channel and I won't strike you. So he clipped it. And then I was looking at how many people had watched it. And Cornicade has a popular channel. So I would have expected more than 6 people to watch it. So it was strange to me that shortly after that, KFB puts out a video again trying to reignite old beef and start shit up again that we have said we do not want to reignite it. So he starts his video by showing my channel and making some comment about how many subscribers I've had since 2020. And that like that's weird to me. Like I almost think like console fanboy, like he's kind of like a leech. I don't hate the guy. And I think he's talented in the stuff that he does, but he's a strange guy. And I'll explain why. He likes to attack Brad, right? And he always takes the road of like the mentally challenged angle. But it's weird, like we're so in his head that the dude's literally sitting up at night writing songs about Brad, which is kind of funny to me because like when we end the show, we just kind of like move on with our lives. But his life is this 24/7. We've learned that from the private recordings that came out from She Lion. So like you can see like what kind of weasel this guy really is behind the scenes. He talks shit about everybody, including Cornicade, who he wrote to me. We were both watching a show one day, and we're kind of cordial with one another. But he said, you better tell Brad to stop because Cornicade is my friend. He's your friend? How long has Cornicade been doing YouTube content? A couple of months? And you leached onto his channel because everybody else gave you the fucking boot? And Weekly Retro Party exploded? Dude, you were talking shit on those recordings about the guy's wife. That wasn't on YouTube. That was you in a private conversation that nobody was ever supposed to hear. Another thing is why I say this guy is strange. And I could have played it tonight because it's not a private conversation. We were doing a stream one night. If you want to go back, it's around Halloween time. And we were playing walkabout mini golf together. So Console Fanboy shows up when he had nobody else, and he's begging to get on. He's constantly messaging in the chat over and over and over. And we're like, dude, like I'm trying to explain to him, like, why there's people in here that you have like personally attacked. And like, why do you want to get on here and play golf? He's like, I want to get on my knees in front of them. I mean, these are not my words. Which is that's a little strange to me also. He wanted to get on his knees in front of Brad, in front of Rainwater Games. And I don't know, whatever. We kept kicking him, and he just kept coming back. Like he for some reason couldn't get the message. So I don't know if he's in love with Brad. Like, I mean, that's okay if you are, but this is what we tried to tell you, Cornicade, is that the stuff that was going on your show, even though it was innocent to you, you have to understand the history. And that's part of the problem with YouTube, is because people have very short-term memory loss, and they like, you could pretty much do anything on YouTube, and then within a few weeks, everyone forgets about it. But Brad didn't forget. And a lot of us didn't forget how far you took it. And we also didn't forget that when we give you a taste of your own medicine, how you turn into a bitch, right? You don't want it again. Trust me. You've already proven that you can only dish it out, but you can't take it. So we're going to spare you. And like I said again, we're not here to drum up drama with anybody and problems. We're not looking to fight. But the reason I'm just going to talk about this before I start the show tonight is because people have short-term memory loss. And it just happened. So I'm going to talk about it now. You made your video. You took your shot at me, which was no big deal. And then you right away go into the mentally challenged stuff when you're referring to Brad. And, you know, like, this is a home arcade community. Like, there's really no place for that here. Everybody has removed you from their channel. You literally told everybody yourself that you told other YouTubers, I cannot control myself. Block me from your channel. But then the other night, you're begging OTG to ask P-Dubs to please let you back in. But anyone that is smart is not letting you back in, because these shows that people are putting their effort into doing are not your shows. And just because you gift 700 memberships or do 50 super chats, it's not your show. Do your own show. But maybe you realized that doing your own show, you're a failure at that. The only thing you're good at is leeching off of other people. And you have about 2 channels left that let you do that. And I'm not asking Danny to get rid of you. I'm just explaining to Danny, this is what we tried to tell you last week. Even though it's an innocent joke, we knew where it was coming from. So now you have to protect your friend Danny, don't you? He's your friend. Is he your friend? You have zero loyalty to anybody. When the weekly retro party was popping off and it was doing really well, those were your best friends, right? But as soon as UAG fucked up, you were out of there, right? Look at the difference between us. We've fucked up too. And I never turned my back on my friends. No matter how bad it got, I still, you know, we talked, but I still never turned my back on them, because I'm not a weasel like you are. So we're not going to get sucked into the back and forth stuff. I'm not even going to allow Brad to get sucked back into that because Brad's doing well. He's doing really great on Arcade Talk. The show's growing every week. They've built that from nothing and it's popping off and they're doing really well. And I'm not going to let him get sucked back into the back and forth with you. So we're going to allow you to remain on the few channels that you have left that allow you to take over their shows in their chat room and pay them for super chats with your messages that are they're calculated messages. They're messages that you put in there to basically create your videos. Like we understand what you're doing. Maybe some people don't. So it's almost like you're paying to create your content, just like your big drive to get Mortal Kombat 4. You went around and paid everybody for that. And what happened in the end? Just like everything with you that you get involved in, it all goes down the drain. And then you become apologetic and you're never going to do it again. And then what happens? You can't help yourself, can you? And it usually takes, it's sometimes not even a week, and you're back to your old shenanigans again. It's embarrassing, dude. You're a grown up. You're embarrassing yourself. And trust me, dude, if you want to play the troll game with me, I'll introduce you to a whole new world of trolls. And I would give it maybe 2 days before you'd never show your face on YouTube again, because you'd be introduced to a whole new level. So I'm not going to warn you to back off, but I'm just going to say we're not going to take your bait, and we're not going to start doing the back and forth. And I said that I wasn't going to do any of this shit on my show again. That's why I haven't started the show yet. Because as soon as the show starts, we're just going to move on and do what we always do. But Cornicade, man, I told you, you clipped my show, right? Why didn't you just clip it and play it on your channel? You clipped it, and then Console Fanboy used that clip. I don't know, man. Like, that kind of like leads me to believe that you're helping him out. Maybe you guys are friends and you're helping him create those kind of videos and attacking people, like calling them like mentally challenged. Dude, the same dude attacked your wife off of YouTube, attacked you. He's not your friend. The only friend he has is himself. And, you can let him keep super chatting on your channel and taking over your chat. The rest of us have done away with that a long time ago, because to us, it's not about money. It's about having a good time with this community. And it's every show without that guy is, you look at it, like watch any show where he is completely blocked. There's never a problem at all. What's going to happen when you screw up one day, right? Is he going to have your back, or is he just going to move on to the next person that he can leech off of? He's running out of people. There's almost no one left. But what are you going to do, AFB, when there's no one left? You're going to take the angle like you took the last time when you thought you were done? Well, saying Home Arcade is dead. Home Arcade is not dead, and it's never going to be dead. Every company that makes Home Arcade content, cabinets, they can all go out of business. But you're never going to kill the love that the people that are truly into this are going to still have for the games. So we're not going to get sucked into your shit. You also went after Tech Buzz. Dude, I remember when you were lapping Tech Buzz's balls. Hey, the two words were close. You were lapping his balls, man, in his chat room. You know I watch everything, and I remember, right? But what happened? You screwed up your relationship with Sheila, and she literally bitch slapped you out of the community, and you ran like a weasel, and you reformatted. How many times have you had to change your name from a C to a K and now KFB? We still know who you are, and you're still the same person, you know? But like once Tech Buzz had nothing to offer you anymore, now you're going to be the guy who causes most of the drama. You don't want anyone else coming on your new friend's show and saying anything that you think might be out of line, because that's drama. Why? Are you afraid he might take some attention away from you? You're an embarrassment, dude. I mean, if I met you in person, we would probably get along and be able to hang out. But you don't want to get into a YouTube war with me. And I don't want to get into one with you, because I promise you, I'll never have to call your job. I'll never have to do any of the kind of bullshit that you do behind the scenes or that you used to do. But you will lose. With that, let's start the show.